Look, I get it. Everybody wants to know, what is this Uranus and Gemini transit going to do to the house where it's going to be transiting for me, right? Especially after our Uranus and Taurus transit, which wrecked a lot of people. Many of us have PTSD from that, and I am not joking. And then everywhere on YouTube, you're seeing thumbnails about Uranus and Gemini transit. Oh, it's going to awaken you and transform you into this cute little star seed. Oh my God, I am rolling my eyes up to the freaking ceiling. No shit, Sherlock. Yeah, there will be transformation. But in this video, I'm going to tell you what nobody else is saying about Uranus transiting Gemini. Coffee up, friends. Let's get into it. Listen, in whichever house you have Gemini, Uranus is going to bring a colossal mind trip, huge mind trip. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how, but don't just jump straight to your house placement. Listen first so you can understand what the energy of Uranus and Gemini actually is. Otherwise, you're not going to fully understand or get what I'm saying later about it in the house portion of this video. First of all, Uranus is trickster energy, and so is Gemini. And the tricks with these two come in pairs because Gemini is always about doubles, two things. There is a good Gemini twin, the kind that likes innocent puns, think fractured fairy tales from the old Rocky and Bullwinkle show. If you're of a certain age, you know, let me know in the comments. Then there's the more evil Gemini twin, the kind that is the expert mind tripper who can twist words and use manipulation mind tactics so you don't know if you are coming or going. Yeah, they can be quite crafty. Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury, meaning it's either a Jeopardy level genius like that Ken Jennings guy who won Jeopardy and then he ended up being the host of the show. And by the way, Ken Jennings is a freaking Gemini, you know? Or Uranus and Gemini ends up being an evil villain mastermind in a James Bond movie scheming to end the world. Like there is no in between. Good twin, evil twin. Now, as Stella Wilde, your anti-doom, no BS astrologer, I am not going to doom spiral over Uranus and Gemini. No, I am not going to hijack your nervous system and spin out tales of doom from World War II and how all the wars start when Uranus is in Gemini, blah, blah, blah. Because I am not going to do the same mind tripping to you that Uranus would like to do when it's in Gemini. Instead, I am going to vibrate the shit out of this Uranian frequency and step into rational thought, which is also Uranus when he's not hyped up on his bullshit, shock and awe power trips. So, if we are being rational and we know about these characteristics of Uranus and Gemini, then we can say with rationality that yes, there will be an awakening, a jolt, a disruption. But with Uranus, it's like a fart that comes out of nowhere and stinks to high heaven. And then there will be a mind trippery about the stink. Is the stink harmful? Will I be poisoned from it? Will the stink stain my clothes, contaminate my lunch sitting out on the counter? Look, during this transit of Uranus and Gemini, which lasts until freaking 2033, you need to choose if you are going to give into the mind trippery or not. Because that's your own mind spinning those stinky over-the-top scenarios. Just open a window, seriously. We're talking about mind duckery, and you can change the D to a different consonant, and you'll know what I'm talking about. And that's the thing Uranus in Gemini is going to do. It is going to create a stink, and you have to have the presence of mind to air out the room and not doom spiral into your own head games or mind duckery.
Quack, quack.
The stink that Uranus and Gemini creates in your first house is that no one is going to be able to pin you down. Hell, you are not going to be able to get a handle on yourself either, quite frankly. You'll be trying this thing and that thing, like you're going to dye your hair blue, or you're going to fly off to Thailand and go eat street food and start a travel blog. And the mind trippery will be, do they still like me? Do I still like me? Why do you care? The stink Uranus and Gemini creates in your second house is that you've got champagne wishes and caviar dreams with a Budweiser bank account. You'll be flush one day with the 10 of Pentacles, and then the next month you're hobbling along with the other two outcasts on the 5 of Pentacles card in tarot looking for a favor. The mind trippery will be, I said all the right things. Why didn't the universe respond to my sweet words? Oh, but the universe did respond to your sweet words for a hot minute. That's the nature of Uranus in the second house. You're going to up, down, seasick like the 2 of coins. Don't play yourself. Make sure you're saving for a rainy day. The stink Uranus creates in your third house is like the lyrics to the Rolling Stones song, 19th Nervous Breakdown. Who's to blame? That girl's just insane, because everything is happening in your brain all at once, everywhere, all the time. You will be writing, emoting, conversing, and people will be like, what the F is she talking about? Well, maybe half the time. The other half of the time, they're going to be retweeting you, reposting you and signing you up to book deals. You may be a genius, I don't know, but also maybe you're not a genius. Don't mind trip yourself into believing your own hype. The stink Uranus creates in your fourth house is pure upheaval. You may have to move at least twice. Remember, Gemini, 2 things. Or maybe you will suddenly be moving between 2 places, living between 2 places, or you're back living with 2 siblings or 2 roommates, or both your parents or 2 elderly aunts who dote on you and make the best home-cooked meals, especially lasagna. The mind trippery here is to think you don't have any options, or you're going to be thinking you can literally be in 2 places at once. No. You can't. Even you cannot bend the laws of physics. At some point, you will have to choose here or there. The stink Uranus creates in your 5th house is maybe too much of a good thing, but also seasons, reasons, and lifetimes come into play. Some relationships and situations are not meant to last forever. Uranus is going to take a defibrillator, figuratively speaking, to your joy and shock it awake. The mind trippery is any guilt you have for letting go. Don't trick yourself into staying in certain situations because you feel guilty that you're removing your glittering presence from someone's life. You have more interesting things to do. The stink Uranus creates in your 6th house is like, hey ho, it's off to work I go. Maybe 2 jobs suddenly, or double duty at your current job because Becky from accounting finally retired and they didn't replace her, and now you got to pick up the slack. Or it could be time to really face the AI elephant in the room. The mind trippery. Here it is. You are not irrelevant. But yes, maybe your skills might be. So innovate, disrupt, learn, start a side hustle. Don't just sit there and whine about the change. Make yourself irreplaceable. The stink Uranus creates in your 7th house is like the 7-year itch. Is the grass really greener over there with someone else? Because you know what, partner of mine? I am really freaking sick and tired of you leaving your socks on the floor all over the place and the toilet seat up. Sick and tired of it. And hey, I just met the new love of my life suddenly, unexpectedly, at the cycle class this morning at the gym. Okay, mind trippery. You've known them for a hot minute. But hey, sometimes the bolt of lightning, love at first sight, does hit that way. But let me tell you, anyone you meet during this transit is more likely a catalyst, not a commitment. The stink Uranus creates in your 8th house is not the walking dead, but the talking dead. On certain full moons, you're going to feel the ancestral lineage tugging at your sleeve. The mind trip. Yes, you can live your life differently. Don't feel guilty about healing what your ancestors couldn't. Also, whatever resources you have intertwined with another person, make sure there is a contract, that it is ironclad. There is a prenup, that you have a good lawyer who can outwit the Uranus in Gemini gaslighting. The stink Uranus creates in your 9th house is a radical reorganization of your entire worldview. One day you're a Buddhist monk renouncing all worldly pleasures, and the next day you're at a Burning Man festival playing a panpipe and wearing tie-dye. You know, the mind trippery. You're flying hither and thither to run away or to find yourself. Because wherever you go, there you are. You can't escape your own mind. So maybe, write your memoirs instead. This is like your eat, pray, love transit. Classic. So the stink that Uranus creates in your 10th house is calling you to awaken to another way to be seen in public. But the thing is you don't want to. You're like, why can't I just put in my 30 years at the same old job, get my paycheck without doing too much, and just ride off into the sunset and retire to a little village in the mountains and live in a tiny house? Why can't I just do that? The mind trippery here is that actually it's a new breakthrough. It's an old breakdown of your laziness to want to step into another version of yourself in public. Here's the thing. Do not talk yourself out of greatness because you don't want to change. That's the mind trip. The stink Uranus creates in your 11th house is calling you to get rid of the frenemies, the bullshitters, the users, the unseemly ones that have been cluttering up your life, because guess what? There is likely to be some mind-blowing revelation about these people in your life. They have 100 faces and 100 bad opinions about you. The mind trippery here is beating yourself up over suddenly having no one in your life that you ever want to speak to again. It's not your fault. But as Uranus eliminates suddenly, so can Uranus bring in suddenly new people who are going to show up. Different people, better people. And at least one weirdo, because, Uranus. And Uranus is going to Uranus. The stink Uranus creates in your 12th house is that of liberating yourself from the jail of your fearful thoughts and karmic patterns. But strangely, these may feel comforting and part of your identity. So the mind trippery is going to be, who am I without my secrets? Well, maybe ask Kim Kardashian. Who was she after her tape got leaked to the public? You might just get the chance to find out, as Uranus in the 12th may bring what has been hidden into the light of day. Secrets come out, and then what? Are you going to spiral into a meltdown worthy of reality TV? So there you have it. 12 stinks, 12 mind trips, 1 transit until 2033. You're going to be fine. Just open a window and breathe. And if you want me to take a look specifically at your personal chart and how Uranus in Gemini may impact you, then you could always book a stellar spotlight astrology reading with me. The link is in the description. I hope you enjoyed this somewhat lighthearted, irreverent, tongue-in-cheek view of Uranus transiting through the 12 houses in Gemini. I tried to embody the essence of Gemini and Uranus, a little quirky, in this video. But the point still stands. The core of what I am saying here holds true. We know Uranus can be a disruptive influence. That is a given. The point, though, that I really want to emphasize is that so much of this transit is going to be about not letting people hijack your nervous system, not letting yourself go through mind duckery and trickery and trippery on your own self because you are buying into fear and doom narratives and letting, the more evil twin of the Gemini win rather than having that balance and equilibrium and rationality that can also be a hallmark of the higher vibration of Uranus. Use your mind in service of your own energy and keep it protected and safe. Open a window if you have to. Seriously, because there may be some big stinks along the way, but they will also be of a different kind than what we dealt with Uranus and Taurus. Remember, Taurus was about our material world. Uranus is more about our intellectual world and our communications. So, and our brains and our nervous system. So there will be a little bit of a different flavor. But by the same token, you don't want to lose your mind over false evidence appearing real, fear. Do you? I don't think so. So thank you so much for joining me today. Love you guys. Take care. I will see you again soon. Stella Wilde, signing out.
Quack.